who settled in the UK and is working as human rights activist and who is co-author of the book titled The Hard Road Out. Jian, you have the floor. So you just need 9 votes. But getting 9 votes is not easy. You know, Security Council has 15 members. But we got it. We got 11 votes. It all happened thanks to the COI report. North Korea also changed. North Korea changed in the meaning North Korea's human rights situation has not changed yet, but North Korea's response changed thanks to COI. There are people who think we should help North Korea, no matter what. At the other end of this spectrum, there are people, who believe that we should keep bashing the Kim Jong-un regime until it is taken down.
One was to establish a central repository of information and evidence to be used in future accountability processes, and the second was to analyse that evidence and look for pathways to accountability. International justice is slow, but it's slow because it's complex. But these two things, human rights and peace and security, need to be leveraged in the service of each other. And I'm not saying it should be, I'm not talking about politicisation of human rights, which has been addressed, but the idea that you can't address the peace and security situation without addressing the human rights situation.
South Korea faces 2 dilemmas. First one is that most of the Indo-Pacific states are not democratic states, rather autocratic states. Second dilemma is that promoting liberal values and human rights may provoke China. I'd like to make 3 points. First, South Korea should use trilateral cooperations among South Korea, Japan, and the United States. Second, South Korea should engage existing institutional mechanisms in this region rather than approaching individual states in this region. The third point is that South Korea should promote the South Korea-led unilateral cooperation that promotes those Korean human rights issues.
Coercive diplomacy, notably sanctions, usually fails. I'm going to suggest some improvements that might actually go through a change of the regime itself. But there are some potential opportunities to compromise Kim's control over financial resources and information. So my first thinking outside the box approach is an attack on the regime's incoming financial resources. Secondly, information. Information within North Korea is heavily censored, and external information penetration into North Korea is extremely weak. One of the primary reasons for this is that your average North Korean doesn't have access to the World Wide Web, instead of being permitted only access to the Korean intranet, which is nothing more than a propaganda channel.
COVID-19 has been kind of probably the worst thing that could have ever happened to the North Korean people. Criminal accountability is extremely evasive in this country. In this moment where international attention is here, it's extremely important to increase the cost of violations. If it's difficult to move North Korea within, except for improving the access to information, we really need to do all we can outside and always having in mind, all the North Korean people.
We must understand the life cycle of its citizens, subject to mass control and cut off from the outside world. Ideology is supreme. We must outsmart the regime, empowering North Korean people, not the regime itself. how well has the international community responded to the challenge of North Korea? Has the responsibility to protect R2P principally failed us again? Despite the significant international interest in improving North Korea's human rights,
today I'm going to talk about two things. One, human rights issues lying between North Korea and Japan, and two, Japan's policy toward North Korea. Unfortunately, when they arrived in North Korea, they found out that the life there was miserable, and the North Korean government wouldn't allow them to go back to Japan.
바로 구독자 여러분, 제가 오늘 북한인권국제협력대사를 이신아 교수님을 모셔봤는데요. 자기소개 부탁드립니다.
네, 안녕하세요. 저는 북한인권국제협력대사 이신아입니다. 오늘 이 회의는 북한인권 보고서가 유엔에서 발간된 10주년을 기념하기 위해서 외교부가 마련한 국제회의였습니다. 그리고 이제 두 번째 세션이 그런 부분들에 딱 대해서 우리가 어떻게 좀 창의적이고, 그다음에 또 이렇게 뭐랄까요, 좀 유연하고 또 지속 가능할 수 있는 방안이 있을까라는 것에 대해서 여러 가지 얘기들이 나왔습니다. 그 중에 하나만 제가 소개를 하면, 우리 젊은 세대들, 청년들의 역할이 굉장히 중요한데요. 북한에도 여러 군데가 똑같은 청년들이 살고 있는데요. 장마당 세대, MZ세대, 북한판 MZ세대죠. 북한에다 있는데, 이 사람들은 단순한 그 북한 정권의 피해자가 아니라 북한을 변화시킬 수 있는 충분한 능력을 가지고 있는 행위자라는 문제에서 우리가 그 사람들을 어떻게 지지하고, 어떻게 응원하고, 또 어떻게 도와줄 수 있어서 힘을 부여할 수 있는지, 이제 그러한 부분들을 회의에서 나왔던 것을 기쁘고 감사하게 생각합니다.
오늘은 북한인권 실상과 증진방안에 대한 영상을 담아보았는데 모두 어떠셨나요? 저는 재밌으셨다면 구독, 좋아요, 알림 설정 부탁드려요. 다음번에 저희는 더 좋은 영상으로 찾아뵙도록 하겠습니다. 안녕!